Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a fascinating question that might have crossed your mind at some point. What would happen if we killed all mosquitoes on Earth? These tiny buzzing insects are among the most hated creatures on the planet. They bite us, keep us awake at night, and most dangerously, spread deadly diseases like malaria, dengue, and Zika. It may seem like the world would instantly become a better place without them. No more itching bites, no more buzzing in your ear, and billions of lives saved from mosquito-borne illnesses. In fact, mosquitoes are responsible for more human deaths than any other creature on Earth. Every year, they kill more people than sharks, snakes, and even other humans combined. So at first glance, the idea of wiping them out feels like a dream come true. But is it really that simple? Could eliminating mosquitoes solve our problems? Or would it actually create new ones? If mosquitoes disappeared overnight, the first impact would be on the ecosystems they belong to. While we mostly think of them as pests, mosquitoes actually play several important roles in nature. For one, they are food. Fish, frogs, birds, bats, and even other insects rely on mosquitoes as a key food source. Their larvae, which grow in water, are especially important for aquatic animals like fish and dragonfly nymphs. Without mosquito larvae, many freshwater ecosystems would lose a major piece of their food chain. Adult mosquitoes also serve as snacks for creatures like swallows, bats, and spiders. While it's true that many of these predators could survive by eating other insects, the sudden disappearance of mosquitoes would still cause disruption. Some species might struggle to adapt, and their populations could decline. Surprisingly, mosquitoes even help plants. Some species feed on nectar, and in doing so, they act as pollinators. While they're not as efficient as bees or butterflies, they still contribute to the survival of certain plants, especially in Arctic regions, where mosquitoes are some of the most common pollinators. So, eliminating mosquitoes could lead to food shortages for wildlife and even affect the growth of certain plants. But here's the bigger question. Would nature find a way to balance itself again, or would we create irreversible damage by removing them? From a human perspective, killing all mosquitoes would bring enormous benefits. The most obvious is the end of mosquito-borne diseases. Right now, mosquitoes transmit malaria, dengue fever, Zika virus, yellow fever, and many more illnesses. Together, these kill over 700,000 people every year and infect hundreds of millions more. If mosquitoes vanished, malaria alone would disappear, saving countless lives, especially in Africa, where children are the most vulnerable. Hospitals and health systems in many countries would no longer be overwhelmed with mosquito-related cases, and billions of dollars currently spent on prevention, medicine, and mosquito control could be redirected toward other needs. Travel and outdoor life would also change. Imagine camping, hiking, or sitting outside on a summer evening without worrying about being bitten. Whole regions that are now dangerous because of malaria could become safer places to live, work, and explore. Tourism and agriculture could expand in areas that were once limited by mosquito problems. In short, for humans, the absence of mosquitoes would feel like a huge relief, almost like lifting a global curse. But this benefit comes with a cost. The balance of nature would be shaken. The real question is, would we be willing to take that risk? If mosquitoes disappeared forever, nature wouldn't simply stop, it would adapt. Ecosystems are resilient, and other species would likely step in to fill the gaps left behind. For example, fish that currently feed on mosquito larvae could shift their diet toward other aquatic insects. Birds and bats that rely on adult mosquitoes might hunt flies, moths, or beetles instead. Over time, populations of these alternative insects could grow, creating new balances in the food chain. Pollination would also find replacements. While some Arctic plants might lose their main pollinators at first, other insects like flies, bees, and butterflies would eventually expand their role. Nature rarely leaves a niche empty for long. Still, there's uncertainty. The sudden removal of over 3,000 mosquito species would create a shock. Certain animals might decline before adapting, and fragile ecosystems, especially wetlands and tundra, could suffer major changes. In the short term, biodiversity could drop. In the long term, ecosystems would likely stabilize, but in ways we cannot fully predict. This raises an important dilemma. Is the suffering mosquitoes caused to humans greater than the disruption their removal would cause to nature? So, what would really happen if we killed all mosquitoes? For humans, the answer is clear. Life would get safer, healthier, and more comfortable. Diseases that have haunted us for centuries would vanish. Millions of lives would be saved every year, and nights under the stars would finally be peaceful. But for nature, the answer is more complicated. While ecosystems would adapt, they would go through turbulence. Some animals would lose food, some plants would lose pollinators, and entire environments could shift in unpredictable ways. In time, balance would return, but it wouldn't be the same balance we know today. Scientists debate whether removing mosquitoes entirely would be wise. Some even argue that targeting only the deadliest species, the few hundred out of thousands that spread disease, might give us the benefits without the biggest ecological risks. In the end, the story of mosquitoes reminds us of a larger truth. Even the creatures we hate most are deeply connected to the web of life. Getting rid of them might solve our problems, but could also unravel nature in ways we're not ready for. So perhaps the real challenge isn't imagining a world without mosquitoes, but finding a way to live safely with them while respecting the balance of our planet.